All right, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I know that you have a busy day. You probably got a lot of stuff going on, but I really appreciate you checking me out here. And we got a lot of stuff to go over. I'm talking about NFL Week 14 picks, a lot of playoff implications, a lot of line movement. So let's go ahead and get into it. I can't waste any more time. We got a lot of stuff to cover here, guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Thursday night game. Jaguars at the Titans. 8:20 Eastern kickoff in Tennessee. The Titans open the betting as the 3.5-point favorite with the total at 37. Since those markets opened this one up, we're actually seeing movement toward the Titans. We're also seeing movement upward on the total as well. Tennessee's now minus 4.5 with the total moving upward to 37 and a hook. So once again, the Titans open 3.5 up to 4.5. Total open 37 up to 37 and a hook. 59% are leaning Tennessee, 55% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Jacksonville is plus $1.85 for some money line cash. Now, this Jacksonville offense is scoring just 16 points per contest. They've also failed to cover in 7 out of their last 8 games. Meanwhile, on the other side, this Tennessee defense, pretty good this year. They're allowing 18 points per contest on their home turf. The Titans are also 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 at home, dating back to last season. Now, scoring-wise, this Jacksonville defense is allowing 28 points per contest away from home. They're 3-2 to the over in their games away from home. Meanwhile, on the Tennessee side, they're 2-0 to the over in their last 2, 3-2 to the over in their last 5. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean Tennessee minus 4 after buying the half a point and the over 37.5 in this one. And I just want to take a quick time out and just welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for NFL Week 14. But before we get into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. And with a documented win percentage of 60% for the entire year of 2017, you're certainly costing yourself some valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed. Now, memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well, including my current record. Including my current record on Patreon. A lot of great stats and numbers there. Been having a really good year. So anyway, you can access free information there. It's only $1.99 per month. That's where it starts at. There's plenty of packages, plenty of memberships available to you. And I just want to say, if you are a current patron of mine and you're currently watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. Link is in the description section below. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump back into some more lines and personal leans for NFL Week 17. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Jets, Bills. Let me just find that here in the notebook. Jets, Bills, 1 o'clock kickoff in Buffalo. The Bills open 3.5, now 3. Total open 39.5, down to 38 and a hook. 64% are on the Jets, 51% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, the New York Jets are plus $1.55 for some money line cash. Now, New York has been terrible against the number this year. They're just 4-8 against the spread overall. They failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5 away from home. Meanwhile, on the Buffalo side of things, they're just 2-4 ATS in their last 6 themselves. This Buffalo offense is scoring just 14 points per contest at home, so it's going to be kind of tough to decide where we're going to go on the spread. Now, scoring-wise, this New York defense, they're allowing 22 points per contest on the road. Meanwhile, the Buffalo defense, they're allowing 26 points per contest on their home turf. So with all that said and done, I think we'll probably see a little bit more scoring than we're expecting in this one. But I got to choose a side on the sides, so I guess I'll lean Buffalo. Give me Buffalo minus 3 in the over. 38.5 in that one. All right, next game, Falcons, Packers. The Packers certainly talk of the NFL after firing McCarthy just hours after that humiliating loss to the Cardinals. We actually broke that story on Brock Page Productions YouTube channel, the channel you're watching right now. That was Lamar Bowe with the breaking story on Sunday. But anyway, Atlanta Falcons at the Green Bay Packers, 1 o'clock kickoff in Green Bay. The Packers open 4.5, now minus 6. Total open 49, down to 48.5. 57% are leaning toward Atlanta, 71% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Falcons are plus 205 for some money line cash. Now, Green Bay has failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5 games. Their defense is allowing 24 points per contest. They're also allowing 128 yards on the ground. Now, this Atlanta offense, they're putting up 25 points per contest. They're throwing for 299 yards passing per game. And scoring-wise, Atlanta's 4-0 to the under in their last 4. Meanwhile, Green Bay 5-1 to the under in their last 6. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the underdog in this one. Give me the Falcons plus 6 and the under 48.5 in that one. Next game, Colts, Texans. 1 o'clock kickoff in Houston. Houston opened 3.5 up to 5. Total open 49 and a hook, down to 49 even. 66% are leaning Houston, 53% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, the Indianapolis Colts are plus 195 for some money line cash. Now, Indy's 4-2 against the spread in their last 6. They're also 5-2 against the spread in their games at the current posted total, and 2-0 ATS on the road, taking on teams allowing less than 21 points per contest. Now, on the Houston side of things, they failed to cover in 6 out of their last 12. They've also failed to cover in 3 out of their last 6 on their home turf. And scoring-wise, Indy's 3-0 to the under in their last 3. They're scoring 22 points per contest on the road. Meanwhile, Houston 3-3 to the under in their games at home, 5-3 to the under in their last 8. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward another underdog in this one. Give me Indy plus 5 and the under 49 total points in that one. Next game, Panthers, Browns. 1 o'clock kickoff in Cleveland. Carolina opened 2.5 down to 1.5. Total open 46.5 up to 47 even. 62% are leaning Carolina, 72% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Browns are plus 105 for some money line cash. Now, this Carolina offense is putting up 25 points per contest. They're also running for 101 yards per game on the ground. Meanwhile, this Cleveland offense on the other side, completely different story. They're scoring just 19 points per game at home. They've also failed to cover in 3 out of their last 5 ball games. Now, scoring-wise, Carolina's 4-1 to the under in their last 5 road games. Meanwhile, Cleveland on the other side, 5-4 to the under, taking on teams averaging more than 25 points per contest. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward a favorite in this run, a favorite on the road. Give me Carolina minus 1 after buying the hook, and the under 47 total points in that one. Next game, Patriots, Dolphins. Patriots, Dolphins. 1 o'clock kickoff in Miami. The Patriots opened 7.5 up to 8. Total open 48 down to 47. 51% are leaning Miami. 67% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Dolphins are plus 315 at home for some money line cash. Now, this Miami defense allows 20 points per contest on their home turf. They're 5-1 ATS in their games at home. Meanwhile, on the other side, New England is allowing 24 points per contest on the road. They're also allowing 290 yards passing on the road, 111 yards rushing on the road. Now, total-wise, New England is 5-0 to the under in their last 5. Meanwhile, the Dolphins are 4-0 to the under in their last 4 themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to take a home dog in this one. Give me Miami plus 8 and the under 47 total points in that one. Next game, Saints, Bucks, 1 o'clock kickoff in Tampa Bay. The Saints opened 7.5 up to 8. Total opened 58 down to 56. 64% are leaning New Orleans, 71% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Bucks are plus 315 for some money line cash at home. Now, this Tampa Bay offense is throwing for 345 yards passing per game. They're also 3-0 against the spread in their last trio of ball games. Tampa Bay's 5-3 ATS when catching the points, and 2-0 ATS as the official home underdog. Meanwhile, on the other side, New Orleans failed to cover in 2 out of their last 3 games at the current posted total. This New Orleans defense is also allowing 279 yards passing per game, and they lost their last away game in Dallas 13-10. Now, scoring-wise, Tampa is 4-1 to the under in their last 5 at home. Meanwhile, New Orleans on the other side, 5-2 to the under in their last 7. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward another underdog in this one, another home underdog. Give me Tampa Bay plus 8 and the under 56 total points in that one. Next game, Giants, Redskins. 1 o'clock kickoff in Landover. The Skins open -1, now up to -1.5. Total open 41.5, up to 42 even. 66% are leaning toward the Giants, and at the moment, New York is plus 105 for some money line cash. Now, the Giants are 7-5 against the spread overall. They've successfully covered the number in 5 out of their last 6 away from home. This New York offense is putting up 23 points per contest on the road and throwing for 283 yards passing. Now, on the Washington side of things, definitely in turmoil there. A lot of stuff going on in-house. They're on their third-string quarterback, Mark Butt Fumble Sanchez. Washington's just 1-4 straight up in their last 5. Sanchez is their quarterback. And scoring-wise, Washington 6-3 to the under in their last 9. Meanwhile, New York 6-3 to the under in their last 9 on the road, dating back to last season. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward another underdog. Give me the New York Giants +2 after buying the half a point and the under. 42 total points in that one. Next game, Ravens, Chiefs. Ravens, Chiefs. Is that a 1 o'clock game? Ravens, Chiefs. 1 o'clock kickoff in Kansas City. The Chiefs open 8.5 down to 6.5. Slight fade of actually significant fade of KC in the early going there. KC opened 8.5 down to 6.5. Total open 53.5 down to 53 even. 52% are back on Kansas City. 62% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Baltimore is plus 240 for some money line cash. Now, Kansas City has been unreal this year. They're 10-2 straight up overall, 9-3 against the spread overall as well. Kansas City scoring 37 points per contest. They're also throwing for 317 yards passing per game. Now, Baltimore on the other side, they failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6. They're also just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games, taking on winning ball clubs. Now, scoring-wise, Kansas City is 4-1 to the under in their games at home. Meanwhile, Baltimore, 5-2 to the under, taking on teams averaging more than 25 points per contest. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward a home favorite in this one. Give me Kansas City -6 after buying the hook and the under 53 total points in that one. Next game, later slate, 4 o'clock slate. Bengals, Chargers. Bengals, Chargers. Bengals, Chargers, 4:05 kickoff in Los Angeles. The Chargers open 14.5 down to 14. Total open 47 up to 48.5. Cincinnati's just 5-7 against the spread overall. They failed to cover in 5 out of their last 8 while catching the points. Now on the LA side of things, they're 7-5 ATS overall. They're covering 75% of their games, taking on teams allowing more than 25 points per contest. Scoring-wise, Cincinnati 4-1 to the over in their games on the road. Los Angeles 4-2 to the over in their games at the current posted total. So with all that said and done, give me the LA Chargers -14 and the over 48.5 in that one. Next game, Broncos 49ers 4:05 kickoff in San Francisco. The Broncos open 4 up to 5.5. Now, one thing to note is the news just broke a couple hours ago. Emmanuel Sanders ruptured his Achilles in practice today on Wednesday, so we'll probably see significant movement on that line. I think that will have an impact on the line, at least initially. But once again, Denver open 4 up to 5.5. Look for some movement on that. Total open 44 down to 43 and a hook. 72% are on Denver, 57% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, the 49ers are plus 210 for some money line cash. Now, despite Sanders' injury, Denver's been very good against the number this season. These numbers have adjusted accordingly for Denver backers. The Broncos are 7-5 against the spread overall. Their offense is putting up 24 points per contest away from home. The San Francisco defense on the other side, completely different story. They're allowing 28 points per contest. They've also failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5 games at home. Now, total-wise, Denver's 4-2 to the under in their games on the road. San Fran 4-2 to the under in their last 6. Give me Denver -5 after buying the half a point and the under 43.5 in that one. Next game, Steelers, Raiders. 4:25 kickoff in Oakland. Pittsburgh opened the betting as the 10.5-point favorite. That moved up to -11. Total opened 51 up to 51 and a hook. 65% are leaning Pittsburgh, 76% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Oakland's plus 610 for some money line cash. Now, if you like Oakland in this one, it's going to be a tough one for you to get the job done. They're just 4-8 against the spread overall for the year. They're 1-7 straight up in their last 8 ball games. This Oakland offense is putting up just 18 points per game. They're also throwing for just 241 passing yards per contest as well. Now, on the other side, the Pittsburgh side, completely different story. They're scoring 29 points per contest. They're throwing for 321 yards per game. Pittsburgh's 7-5 against the spread overall, and they've successfully covered the number in 4 out of their last 5, taking on teams allowing more than 25 points per game. Now, total-wise, Pittsburgh 4-1 to the over, taking on teams allowing more than 25 points per contest. That is not the same stat. I gave you a stat on the spread. That is a stat on the total. Meanwhile, on the Raiders side of things, they're 4-2 to the over in their last 6 games themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean Pittsburgh -11 and the over 51.5 in that one. Next game, Detroit, Arizona, 4:25 in the desert. The line's open 1, now -2.5. Total is 40.5. No movement there. 61% are leaning Detroit, 70% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Cardinals are plus $1.15 for some money line cash. Now, this Detroit offense is putting up 23 points per contest on the road. They're running for 117 yards rushing on the ground away from home as well. Meanwhile, this Arizona defense, they're allowing 26 points per contest. Very bad there. They're also allowing 141 rushing yards per game as well. This Arizona team is just 3-9 straight up overall, and they've failed to win in 5 out of their last 6 at home straight up. Now, total-wise, Detroit's 4-1 to the over in their games away from home. Meanwhile, Arizona 2-1 to the over in their last 3. So with all that said and done, give me Detroit -2 after buying the 0.5 point and the over 40.5 in that one. Next game, Eagles, Cowboys, 4:25 in Jerry World. Jerry's World, Jerry World, Dallas, whatever you want to call it. The Cowboys are -3.5, totals at 43. 71% are leaning Dallas, 60% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, Philly is plus 165 for some money line cash. Now, Philly has been terrible against the spread this season. They're just 4-8 against the spread overall. They failed to cover in 3 out of their last 5 away from home. This Philly defense is allowing 26 points per contest on the road. They're also allowing 322 yards passing away from home as well. Meanwhile, on the Dallas side, one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. They're 4-0 straight up in their last 4. They're 4-0 against the spread in those 4 ball games as well. Dallas is also 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 at home. They are rushing for 141 yards per contest at Jerry World this season. Now, total-wise, Dallas, 4-2 to the over in their games at home. Their offense is putting up 24 points per contest at Jerry World. Meanwhile, on the Philly side, they're 3-2 to the over in their games on the road. They're also 3-2 to the over, taking on teams averaging less than 21 points per contest. So with all that said and done, I think it looks like it's going to go in Dallas's favor. Give me the Cowboys -3 after buying the 0.5 point and the over. 43 total points in this one. Next game, the night game, prime time Sunday night, Rams, Bears, 8:20 Eastern kickoff in Chicago. The Rams open 4 down to 3. Total open 54 down to 52.5. 56% are leaning LA. 53% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Bears are plus 140 for some money line cash. Now, Los Angeles is 7-5 ATS overall for the year, 2-0 against the spread in their last couple of games. This offense of the Rams is scoring 35 points per contest. They're also rushing for 158 yards per game on the road. Now, on the Chicago side of things, they failed to cover in 2 out of their last 4, taking on winning teams. Chicago's also 0-1 in their lone game as the official home underdog. 0-1 ATS, 0-1 against the spread in their lone game as the official home underdog. Now, total-wise, as I just shook the camera, Chicago 8-4 to the over overall for the season, 4-2 to the over in their games at home. Meanwhile, on the Rams side of things, they're 3-0 to the over, taking on teams averaging more than 25 points per contest. So with all that said and done, give me the Rams -3 and the over 52.5 in that one. All right, next and final game for the show. It is going to be Monday Night Football. Minnesota at Seattle, 8:15 Monday night. The Seahawks open 3.5 down to 3. Total open 44.5 up to 45. 62% are leaning Seattle, 75% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Minnesota is plus 155 for some money line cash. Now, the Vikings are just 5-7 against the spread overall for the year. They failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6 away from home. This Minnesota defense is allowing 26 points per contest on the road. They're also allowing 110 rush yards per game away from home. Now, Seattle, 3-0 straight up in their last 3, 7-1 against the spread in their last 8. The Seattle offense is putting up 28 points per contest at home. They're also rushing for 160 yards on the ground at home as well. Now, total-wise, Seattle 3-2 to the over in their games at home, 4-0 to the over in their last 4 at any location. Minnesota 4-2 to the over in their last 6 on the road. Give me Seattle -3 and the over 45 total points in this one.